What it do, Jericho Green. I am back to get sacked deep in your eardrums. I gotta talk about the uprising going on in Germany. I'm not talking about the uprising of 1953. I'm talking about the one of 2018 that went down this weekend. They were in the streets chanting, "Merkel has to go." Angela Merkel is the chancellor of Germany, and she has been allowing her country to be flooded by refugees from Arab countries. Now, you read the headlines from Vox, Washington Post, HuffPo, BBC. It's right-wing extremists in the streets. I think Vox said Hitler signs and fireworks, and Angela Merkel's denouncing the actions of these vigilantes and their violence. What about the violence that these refugees are perpetrating on your own people, Merkel? That's why I think that elected officials should have children, because you have a vested interest in the future. You're worried about what this world is going to be like when you leave it to your children, when your children get out in that world. You don't want it to be all fucked up. But she has no skin in the game. She don't care. She goes home to her giant, I'm sure, humongous house paid for by the taxpayers with an Echo. She's used to being alone. Probably got too many dogs and shit. But she has no vested interest in the future, so she don't care. She doesn't care what happens to Germany. But fortunately, the German people do. And they were out in the streets by the thousands. Now, also, these same outlets will tell you that there were hundreds. I read like 3 or 4 of them, and they all said there were hundreds of people. No, check out those videos. It looks to me more like thousands of people. And it all kicked off because this man was killed at a festival. Apparently, him and some other guys were stopping the sexual assault of a woman. The guys that were doing it didn't feel it. 2 of the guys stabbed him. They stabbed 3 guys, and one of them died, 35-year-old man. So the Iraqi and the Iranian perpetrators, whose names they didn't release, are in custody now. So I think that was a straw that broke the camel's back. The German people got out in the street and they said, look, they were chanting, "Merkel must go." And she must, because she's handing her country over to these refugees from these Arab countries. And it's not like they're coming in waving little German flags and, yeah, we like beer and steins and sausages and shit. They're not coming over assimilating, joining the party. They're stopping the party. They're raiding the party and telling the party goers that they're doing it wrong, they're infidels, and they're going to take over their country. And who's going to put up with that shit? They're taking over entire sections of town, turning them into the third world shitholes that they came from. And the German people aren't standing for it, and good for them. Now, there is a dude named Gavin McInnes, and I saw him on the Joe Rogan podcast one time, and he was talking about the epidemic of inbreeding in the Arab culture. And I'm talking like 50% of children born in Pakistan have mental issues because of inbreeding. Apparently the Quran condones having sex with your first cousin. Yes, your first cousin. Think back to hanging out with your first cousin that's of an opposite sex of you, and it's okay for you guys to get married and fucking have kids. And people, talk shit about, rednecks being like, hey, wait. Well, they're doing that for real. And it's not good. Imagine having what your children would turn out like, having sex with your first cousin. But that's one of the many differences in their culture. And that when you come over to someone else's country and you don't assimilate, you just try to shoehorn your culture in with theirs, it doesn't work. And their cultures don't respect women, children, even animals the way that we do. And yeah, I'll go ahead and say it. Some cultures are better than others. Not just different, they're better. We don't believe in genital mutilation. We don't believe it's okay to kill a woman in your family or beat her ass because she did something wrong, because she showed 2 centimeters of ankle instead of 1. We don't believe in that shit. We have a better, more forgiving and loving culture than a lot of other parts of the world. And big ups to Germany. I'm glad they're getting out in the streets. I'm glad they're not taking this shit anymore. I'm glad they're having their Tina Turner in the limousine moment from What's Love Got to Do With It. Do you remember? Tina had enough. Ike slapped her up for the last time. She grabbed a bottle of that Don P and went upside his head. And that's what the German people are doing to Merkel. So, hey, keep it going, Germany. I'm with you 100%. It's different when people come over and assimilate and take on your ways of life and your culture. That's fine. But multiculturalism is a death knell. There should be only one culture per country. Because culture is serious stuff. You're talking religion and people's beliefs. Multiculturalism does not work. One culture, one country. If you don't like that country's culture, then keep your bitch ass out of their country. I'm telling you guys, I try to be done with the left. I try, but they keep doing stupid shit, and they won't let me leave them alone. Follow me on the Twitter at green_Jericho. Throw me a couple pesos on PayPal /green4green. I'm Jericho Green. I'm out.